Welcome back to UNDTV News. I'm Jay Saj.
And I'm Naya Ortiz, and welcome to our first newscast of the semester.
And if you tuned in last semester, you can tell our setup looks a bit different.
Definitely, and that's because our studio is currently under construction as we are redesigning our set and will be filming in the finished product in next week, so make sure you stay tuned. I am so excited for what's to come.
Me and you both, the big old TV over there. We have a video wall, obviously. Today was going to look phenomenal once it's all finished up.
Yes, and it's been years since we switched up our background, so new and improved UNDTV this semester. We can't wait to show you guys. And moving on to more pressing matters, the first and potentially only presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump aired on ABC News Tuesday night. When Vice President Harris and former President Trump walked onto the stage in Philadelphia, it was the first time they'd met in person. Harris set the tone by walking across the 6 feet separating her podium from Trump's and reaching out for a handshake. From there, a contentious debate kicked off, with the two debating over inflation, abortion, immigration, and foreign policy as they try to make their case to voters with less than 2 months until Election Day. It's still unclear if the two will debate again before the presidential election. VP Harris said immediately after Tuesday's debate that she is on board for a second one. Trump, however, has said he does not know if he wants to participate in another debate. For a deeper dive into the debate, tune into Policy Matters on UNDTV every Tuesday at 10 a.m. And welcome back. Human remains discovered in Indiana in 1993 have been identified as those of a South Carolina native, finally resolving a decades-old mystery. The remains were found near Indianapolis but went unidentified for nearly 30 years. Recent advances in DNA technology allowed investigators to match the remains to a man who had been reported missing from South Carolina around the same time. Authorities have not yet released the man's name as they are still notifying his family. The circumstances of his death remain unclear, and the case is now being investigated as a possible homicide. For the man's family, this identification brings some definite closure after years of uncertainty. However, many questions remain about how and why he ended up in Indiana. Student absence rates have become alarmingly high in the past few years. Since COVID, many students have been missing 18 or more days of school, which by the state of Indiana is considered to be, quote, chronically absent. The Department of Education released a statement last month where they reported that 17.8% of K-12 students, which is around 219,000 kids, were chronically absent during the most recent 23 to 24 school year. Policymakers struggle to find a solution for this ongoing issue. The final draft of the Senate Enrolled Act 282, which has been approved earlier this year, prompts school districts to take a tougher stance on student truancy. But ultimately, it is left up to the schools to introduce and enforce local policies. The act also mandates school districts to create and have a prevention policy, which should include referrals to counselors or other social services that can help prevent these absences.
If you aren't sure if you should stick to shorts or pull your sweaters out of storage, Jake Helton has your weekend weather update up next.
McGill was taken into custody on Monday afternoon after allegedly, quote, striking and pointing a loaded firearm at one of his children. Alone at home with his 3 children on Sunday morning, McGill's 8-year-old stepdaughter was the victim of the alleged incident. McGill turned himself in at Gibson County Jail after an arrest warrant was issued against him on 3 counts of level 6 felonies. McGill is currently being held on bond. An Anderson High School student faces charges after making threats to the school. Over the weekend, Anderson police received a copy of an audio recording that captured a student threatening to bring a gun to the school. The student was immediately arrested on Saturday and remained in custody. Anderson Community Schools took to social media to thank the Anderson police for their swift actions in making schools safe for students, faculty, and their staff. Anderson police did not give the name or age of that student. And although the air isn't quite too crisp right now, just this weekend it was feeling like fall, was it not?
Oh, for sure.
Definitely. And nothing brings fall in more than festivals, food, and family fun, of course. The shops at Perry Crossing are hosting an all-in-one fall festival with activities that include a circus, splash pad, foam party, pumpkin drop, and so much more. These activities are perfect for your entire family and are going on now all the way up until October 24th. We do, however, want to mention that the circus only has a few more days left and will be leaving the festival September 15th, so you only have 4 more days to see them perform. For a full rundown of all of the events happening at Perry Crossing, head to their website, perrycrossing.com. And have you ever seen a circus? I've never been to a circus.
Yeah, I've seen one before. I don't really remember what it was, but it was a great time for sure. I loved it.
Oh, I'm definitely going to have to take my son to see that.
For sure.
And What's your favorite fall festivity?
Pumpkin patch, pumpkin carving, I love it.
Of course, me as well. You've got to get into all the good things this fall.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you for joining us on UIndy TV News.
Tune in next week at 6 p.m. to UIndy TV on YouTube and Xfinity Channel 1096 for your weekly news update.
As always, have a good night.
And be safe, Indy.